Guys, I think we've got it now. Coming now. Yes, welcome everybody. My name is Matt. I'm from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. Sorry for taking a little longer than usual. I went to go live, and literally at that moment my internet went out. So we're a little delayed, but we are back here on Monday, hanging out, talking Royal Caribbean with you. And of course, every Monday we are live right here with you on YouTube, hanging out, talking about the most important thing in the whole wide world, which of course is going on a Royal Caribbean cruise. So thank you for joining us here on this Monday. I've got a lot of people in chat already. Brogan is here. Nicholas is here. Javon is here. Nathan Ludwig, welcome. Tony Diaz. Tony says, think he's doing his hair and makeup before getting on camera. You know how these Hollywood types are. Guilty as charged. You know how I am, buddy. How are you, Tony? Shansher Williams is here. Sharon Stockman, hello. Rosie, hello. Carlos Solaris. We got Grace in the house. Brittany. David Vaden. Karen Hart. Chris Pat is here. Hannah is here. Hello, Jack. Mark Hunter. Robert Jaworski. How are you down under, my friend? Jess Gordon is here. Pam DeFields is here. Miguel Espinoza in the house. Don Goldstein, welcome. Ben Lasky, Ava, Mark Hunter, Suzanne Turner, welcome, welcome, guys. Glad to have you here. Miguel writes, hello, Matt. Sadly, my cruise to the Caribbean was canceled in April, and so was the one for July to Alaska. Welcome to the, I hate to say welcome to the club, but welcome to the club, so. Let's see here. Brooke Campbell, I was supposed to go on Explore in December. My parents canceled. A little sad, but understandable. Brooke, listen, there's a lot of things going on right now, and I don't blame your parents. I mean, it stinks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But, yeah, it's not great. But glad you were here. Javon, starting us off today with our first super chat. Thank you, Javon. And Javon writes, how do you feel about 3-day cruises? Looking at Navigator for my birthday, August 28th. I love 3-day cruises. They are very short. I mean, extremely short because, of course, you know, it's over before you know it, but weekend cruises. Now, Javon, I know you live in Alabama, so you could drive down. It's a little bit of a hike. I mean, it's not around the corner, but it's also, you know, to fly for a 3-night cruise, I'm not sure it's really worth it unless you get a really good airfare deal. But at the end of the day, you know what I say, Javon, YOLO, book it. And to me, it's better to have a cruise vacation than not. But I think ideally, you know, for someone who's going to be, certainly if you have to travel by airplane, you might want to go for a longer cruise, but I love 3-day cruises. I do that all the time. I do live in Florida, so it's a little bit easier for me to make work, if that makes sense. Annie is cruising in December. Nice. Anne-Marie Myers is here. Welcome. Nathan Ludwig is alerted that she's getting her full amplification time sometime in the future. Remains to be seen. The answer is eventually, I think, yes, Nathan. But right now, there is no timetable for that. Royal Caribbean is still finalizing those details. Right now, Allure of the Seas is in dry dock in Spain, and she's getting some work done, but it's not going, we don't know, the work being done right now is simply just on navigation and propulsion. The actual upgrades, enhancements, the water slides, the new restaurants, all those fun things, that is on hold right now. Melody Winger, first time joining. Welcome, Melody. Booked your first vacation ever. Cruise set for January 2022. Nice. When do you think the Cruise Planner app will be filled up with things? You've got some time to go right there for that. There is no set time, generally speaking. It will eventually show up there, but you got January 22. I mean, really and truly, you got until probably next summer, summer 21, and then you're in the ballpark of all that, so. Ava with the super chat. Ava, thank you for your generosity. Thank you, Ava. And Bill Coco with a giant super chat. Woo! Bill, currently booked on Freedom of the Seas for June 2021 to Bermuda with my son. Think I have anything to worry about cancellations packages now, which is $61, or should I wait? Really, there's no risk, Bill, with those drink packages or anything you see in the Cruise Planner. Those are fully refundable. You can cancel them anytime, Bill. If there's a better price tomorrow, next week, next month, you can always cancel that, rebook immediately. If your cruise is canceled, those get auto-refunded anyway. So, yeah, there's very little risk in there. Jess Gordon booked your 5th cruise, going to Perfect Day Karaoke since I was last there in 2014. Jess, it is going to blow your mind how awesome that is. Javon says, I already purchased the airfare for my previous canceled birthday cruise with Southwest, so I'm recycling airfare. Then go for YOLO, book it. I mean, listen, Javon, the argument is still to be made that you've got that airfare that you paid for, but you're recycling. Cool. If you go for a longer sailing, get more value out of it. But if you're saying, Matt, if I don't take this 3-night cruise, I'm not going to cruise until, who knows when? Yeah, I would do that. I would totally go for that 3-night cruise, Nisa Howard, pro tip, book any packages during Black Friday, dirt cheap around that time. You know what, Nisa, with all due respect, I'm going to disagree with you. Not that you shouldn't book during Black Friday, book whenever you want to book it. But my advice is this, that I wouldn't sit around and wait for Black Friday to be the end-all, be-all of what are good deals. The value in Black Friday deals has not been there compared to previous years. So what I'm going to take your Nisa, I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to say, and to put this in reference to what Bill is saying, book it now, lock in that price, and if there is a better deal on Black Friday or next week or next month, cancel and rebook and take advantage of it. But don't just sit there and wait for Black Friday to come around and try to time it that way. Because in my opinion, what we saw last year in Black Friday deals wasn't that great. And I feel like if you see a good price, your best bet is to jump on it right there. VP Jared, tequila shot for Matt. Virtual tequila shot. Jared, my friend, thank you for your generosity. And this one goes out to you, sir. Cheers. Whew. Smooth. Thank you. Paul Facchetti is here. What's up, Paul? With cruises coming back at less capacity, how will Royal Caribbean decide on who can and who can't go if the sailing is sold out or close to capacity? Well, Paul, I'll back you up there for a second and simply say that Royal Caribbean has not confirmed any changes yet in terms of, if they'll sail with their ships being less than full. I think some of the assumptions are they won't be able to fill them, like as in not enough sails. But as of right now, there's been no policy change announced by Royal Caribbean to that effect. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I think you're putting the cart before the horse. Like, we got to wait for an announcement and a policy change from Royal Caribbean before we can possibly speculate on speculation, if that makes sense. Tom O'Brien, best hotels in New Jersey. I would stay at any of the Newark Airport hotels, not the Newark City, because there's Newark City and there's Newark the Airport. If you're staying in one of those business hotels right by the airport, those are great. They service people all the time. Fantastic. Newark the City is not the greatest city in the world. I hate to say it. I apologize to anybody from North Jersey, but I wouldn't want to stay there. So if you're looking for a hotel near the port, I would definitely say one of the hotels at the airport or around the airport. There is a Marriott in the airport. I've stayed there. Fantastic. There's also some hotels that are literally like just on the outskirt of the airport. You can tell which one it is by the fact that it has the word Newark Airport in the name. So any of those are pretty good. Brogan, do you think Europe could start up again before Caribbean? I mean, anything's possible, Brogan. I will tell you this much. There is nothing that I think we've learned that you never know what can happen. Brogan, I'm going to ask your question to the Magic 8 Ball, Brogan. Will European cruises open up before the Caribbean? Chances aren't good, according to the Magic 8 Ball. Sorry, Brogan. Gloria M, is Odyssey delayed? Maybe, kind of, yes. What I mean by that is Royal Caribbean has said they expect delays in new ship deliveries in 2020 and 2021. Now, that announcement comes through Royal Caribbean's financial disclosures, things they kind of tell the stock market and analysts, right? The marketing machine, the press machine, has not officially announced that yet, so we don't know yet what, if any, ramifications there could be to Odyssey. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Paulo, has Royal Caribbean come out with new protocols and health screenings prior to boarding? No, not yet. 5-Trip, what's up, dude? We have canceled and rebooked our excursions, drink package, and photo packages 2 times for our Explorer cruise for November, and that is the way to do it, One of my best pieces of advice is, if you're on that cruise planner website and you see something that looks good, book it, lock in the price. If there's a better price, do what 5-Trip did, cancel, rebook immediately, you're good to go. Drink packages, shore excursions, internet packages, dining. You can do that all day long, every day, no problem, right? And the reason to book it now and not wait for a better deal is that guards against a potential price increase. So definitely the way to go. Holy moly, Jeff Leonard with a giant super chat. Woo! Hello, Matt. Your info is really valuable. Why, thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for your generosity, as always, Jeff. Much appreciated. Good to see you here, buddy. Happy Memorial Day. By the way, happy Memorial Day to everybody. Thank you to everybody. Memorial Day is one of those holidays that obviously it's a 3-day weekend, but it's not a 3-day weekend in the sense that obviously we need to take a moment and really say thank you to everyone who literally sacrificed their life for this country so that people like you and I can go on cruises. It is an important distinction to do. Yeah, it's fun to go on, barbecuing and certainly have a day off of work. I'm all for that, but it is always important to remember why we have this day. So, I want to say happy Memorial Day to everybody, and I certainly also want to say a big thank you to those who made the ultimate sacrifice so nerds like me can go on Royal Caribbean cruises. That is the gift that I can never repay. So, Todd Cohn, thank you for the super chat. We have our next super chat coming in. Thank you, Todd. Thanks for everything, Matt. We're planning our first back-to-back on Harmony, both in the same room. What's transition day like? Can we access our room? Yes, you can access your room. So on transition day, you'll get a letter in your stateroom on the last day or two before the end of cruise number 1 with instructions. You'll report to a specific area, some lounge somewhere, where you and everyone else is doing the back-to-back cruise will meet Royal Caribbean. They will process you. They'll wait for every other guest to get off the ship, and then they will walk with you off the ship, back on the ship. You'll get new SeaPass cards, and yes, you can go back to your room if you like. You'll have a special card that you can show to the stateroom attendants, like, hey, it's okay, I'm just going back to my room, I'm already here, and you're good to go. It is really easy. Travel Adventures, Candy and Mike Romano, value nice hotel near Port Canaveral. The Radisson is really good. That's a hotel a lot of people really like. Good value. There's a lot of great hotels now in that general area. Also, don't overlook Orlando. If you're flying into Orlando and you're coming in at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, there's no reason to really drive to the port that evening. You may as well stay in a hotel near Orlando. You might save money, number 1, and number 2, in the morning, then you can go over there, to the port. Keep that in mind as an option in case you're not seeing great deals in and around Port Canaveral, because there's usually much better deals in Orlando because there's so many more hotels in Orlando. Not always the case, but you never know. Pascal is here. What's up, Pascal? Mark Hunter, thank you for the tequila, my friend. Javon, how can a person calculate if the deluxe drink package is worth it minus $65 a day, trying to make sure if I have enough to make this sense? It's really a personal choice, Javon. I mean, you can make an argument that at almost any point it's worth it. It's just a matter of you drinking enough. What is it?
Where'd you put the Netflix remote?
I didn't touch it. You did it. You turned off the TV. I was using the big TV. Charnel, what's going on? Welcome. Adriana is here. Welcome, Adriana. Glad you made it over here as well. So yeah, Javon, I mean, listen, have people paid $65 a day for that drink package? Sure, absolutely. I've probably paid that much at one point. Here's the thing. We get hung up on drink package prices, but the difference really, let's say you get a great deal on drink package, Javon, would be like, under in the 40s. Let's call it, for easy math, $45, okay? Great price. You would say, Matt, that is fantastic. So now imagine it's $65. Really, that's barely 2 more cocktails a day that you have to drink. Per day, obviously. Not the end of the world. Not certainly feasible to do. Kyle Mikasel, I hope I got that right. Mikasel? Kyle, thank you for the super chat. My boyfriend and I are going to save up for 1 year, then book a cruise for Symphony in January 2022. Think things will be normalish by then. Let's put it this way, Kyle. If things are not normalish by January 2022, I hate to say it, we got worse problems than whether or not you're going on your cruise, buddy. I hope so. My goodness, I really hope that this, I'm ready for this to be over. I think we're all ready for this to be over, but I really, it's run its course of novelty at this point. I think we're all ready for a semblance, let's do what we need to do to have this, be done with. So, I certainly hope so, Kyle. I certainly hope so. Of course, I'll ask the Magic 8 Ball. Kyle wants to know, by January 22, things will be normalish by then. Absolutely. The Magic 8 Ball, Kyle, got your back. Brittany's got a question. Can I use a travel agent after I book a cruise myself? Yes. You have 60 days from when you book the cruise to transfer to travel agent. No problem. Brogan, my next cruise is now Labor Day, September 3rd, I believe, on Mariner of the Seas. I had 2 cruises on Navigator over Labor Day weekend, over July 4th, back to back, those are canceled. So, Gary Miola, thanks for the great info. Sad I will not be meeting you on the 4th of July Navigator Cruise. Not more than I am, sir. I am really, really disappointed about that. That stinks right there. Let's see here. Next question. Joe Husowski. Joe, I apologize for butchering your name. Do all Royal Caribbean ships have single passenger cabins? No, there's about a dozen or so ships that have them. And in some ships, it's like literally 2 rooms on that ship. We have a blog post that outlines every ship that has solo cabins and how many of them and what kind over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, Joe. So if you go to Royal Caribbean Blog and you search for solo cabins, you'll be able to check that out. For some reason, I don't know why, as soon as I said solo cabins, all I can think about is that awful Toby Keith song, Solo Cup, Red Solo Cup, you fill me up, let's have a party. You know that song about the red solo? Oh, God. Travis says, Royal Caribbean do cruises from Australia to Hawaii? Yes. Usually twice a year, Travis. Once when the ship goes from North America to Australia, and once back again. Let's see here. Cruise Addicts. Hi, Matt. Having a big problem choosing a side-to-side cruise on the Rhapsody and Brilliance and Rhapsody 8 Nights. Cruise Addicts, what's the issue, I guess? When you say, and a side-to-side, by the way, is a cruise in which you go on one ship, and then that cruise ends, so then you get off that ship, but the same day, or maybe the day after, you go on a different ship. Tony Diaz, oh Lord, he's singing. Red Solo Cup, you fill me up, let's have a party. Louisa, hello, I have a non-refundable deposit, and if I cancel my trip before final payment, will it transfer to future cruise credit? Louisa, if you take advantage of the Cruise with Confidence program, the answer is yes. So if you say to Royal Caribbean you want to use the Cruise with Confidence to get a 100% future cruise credit, yes, you can get there'll be no penalty even though you have a non-refundable cruise fare. But Louisa, if you go to Royal Caribbean and say, no, I want to cancel, I want to get my money back, then yes, you incur the penalties and whatnot. Brogan, favorite Broadway show on Royal Caribbean? Either Mamma Mia or Hairspray. Both are fantastic shows. I think maybe Mamma Mia, but they're both really, really good. So, Rod, so glad I found your show. Pure greatness and upbeat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Welcome. Let's see here. Kyle, if you live in the following states, Michigan, Minnesota, New York, Vermont, and Washington State, get an enhanced license. It will act as a passport in Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean if traveling by ship. That's a good recommendation right there. Thank you. Cruise Addicts, I meant choosing a side... Oh! Wait, choosing a side-to-side or a God, okay. So now Cruise Addicts saying, should I do a side-to-side, 2 ships, different ships, or a longer cruise? Ooh. You know what? I would say if the side-to-side allows for more nights, I'd go in that. Whatever gives you more nights on board, that's what I would do. Jason Brett, any recommendations for the hotels in the Miami area? The Doubletree Biscayne Bay and the Intercontinental Miami are my 2 favorite hotels in Miami. They're both downtown, great location. You can easily walk out of those hotels, shop around, do things. If you want to go to the beach, of course, you should probably stay in South Beach. I've stayed at the Surfcomber Hotel, Surfcomber, C-O-M-B-E-R, Surfcomber Hotel. That's in South Beach. If you want to do the South Beach experience, that's a great hotel as well. Let's see here. Keith Bruce, Karen Hart. Future cruise credit or Lifton's shift. Can't decide. I would say if you know you're sailing, may as well do lift and shift. Lift and shift provides arguably a very good deal because it allows you to take 2020 prices and apply to 2021. But Karen, if you're not ready to pull the trigger on a specific sailing, or it doesn't line up for a lift and shift, like maybe you don't want to do a similar itinerary or the same length of cruise, then future cruise credit. It really, I hate to say it, but it really depends on a variety of factors. Amanda, can you rent snorkel gear on Oasis of the Seas? Not on the ship. Certainly some itineraries allow, like as an example, if you go to Perfect Day Coco Key, you can rent snorkel gear at Perfect Day Coco Key. But if you're going to Cozumel and you want to rent snorkel gear, you're going to have to find somewhere on the island, on Cozumel, to do that, and or do an excursion through Royal Caribbean in which it's provided for you. Brianna, is Royal Caribbean delayed with issuing the future cruise credits? Yes, there is definitely a delay with both future cruise credits and refunds. No question about it. William Jones, how does the specialty dining package work on a la carte restaurants on Anthem of the Seas? If you're going to an a la carte restaurant like Izumi, basically you get a stipend. Every person gets a stipend. So at Izumi, it's $35 per person. So if it's you and your spouse, that's $70. Yes, you can pool the money together. Yes, you can use it as you see fit. Basically, as long as the total bill is $70 or less, you are good. If you go over that stipend, totally fine. You will just pay the difference. Christian wants to know, do ships get decked out in holiday decor in December? They do. Usually right around, they begin getting decorated somewhere around Thanksgiving, and they will stay decorated through the month of December until about January or so. Holy moly, Sharon Stockman with a giant super chat. Woo! Thank you, Sharon. Hi, Matt. What happens for those that are supposed to be on the Enhanced Ship Explorer and your room does not exist due to the delay? Good question. I suspect, Sharon, when we get an announcement from Royal Caribbean officially saying, hey, here's our plan going forward for Explore the Seas and even Allure the Seas, that there will be a plan in place for your particular situation, Sharon. The bottom line is I don't know the answer to your question. No one knows yet. My understanding is Royal Caribbean is finalizing those details to basically have a plan for a situation like yourself and come up with whatever the logistics would be there. So there is another shoe to drop right there. Adriana writes, OMG, Izumi. Isn't that place great? I love Izumi. So good. Man, I go for some right now. Miguel Espinoza, do you think booking so far in advance will be a thing of the past? It's too risky that way. No, not at all. I think there will always be people who will be able to want to take advantage of lower prices later on. I mean, listen, you're right. It's hard to predict the future, but it's also hard to predict the future, which means you can't live your life kind of, I don't want to say worrying, but plan accordingly, and, you know, if something happens, and you roll with the punches. That's always been my mantra. So no, I don't think it'll be a thing of the past. William Jones with a super chat. Thank you, William. And William says thank you with a really cute, what is that, an emoji or an emote, or I don't know what they call it here on YouTube, a sticker? Thank you, William, for your thank you. No, thank you. Nicholas, China Sailing plan to cruise in July earlier than the rest of them in August. Do you think China Sailings can start first? You know, that's really interesting, Nicholas, because Royal Caribbean announced last week that it's canceled all its Royal Caribbean cruises through the end of July, except China. China's only canceled through the end of June. We don't know yet firmly if Royal will resume sailings in China first. Remains to be seen. Jess Gordon, do you think that arrival appointments on embarkation day can be enforced after COVID-19 is over? Ooh, that's a good question. So Jess is wondering, you know those boarding times that they give you when you check in? And if you're anything like me, you look at them and go, ha 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 ha, boarding times? Pish posh. I don't listen to boarding times. I show up whenever I want. And I speak like a Shakespearean actor. And I will do as I please. You know, that was always one of the tips I always shared here on YouTube, is that you can always do whatever you want. It's a good question, Jess. I don't know. You know what? It's one of those things we're going to have to wait and see what actually happens once cruises resume. Mrs. Thomas with a big super chat. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. 80 days till my cruise on Symphony of the Seas. Do you think some of the delay in returning to cruising is because of waiting on ports to open? Planning on going even if the kids have to miss a week of school? Yes, I think that there's probably two primary issues related to what's stopping, main issues. There's other minor issues, but major hurdles for the cruise lines. Number one, they have to have ports to go to. They're not going to go. They can't not go anywhere. So that's number one. And of course, number two is regulations within the country, whether it's the U.S. or anywhere, to allow the ships that are home ported there to sail wherever. So, yes, I think that the islands are definitely a big component to that. And Lando Calribian, great name, by the way. Lando with the super chat. Thank you, Lando. Waiting last second to book Symphony of the Seas, December 12th, 2020. 24th wedding anniversary. Can't handle another cancellation. I may need your help to step back from the ledge if this one doesn't work out. Buddy, listen, nobody cries himself to sleep more than I do about no cruises. I'm up to 6 canceled sailings, brother. It stinks, but we're here together. Group hug, Lando. We'll get through this, and you know what? Eventually, yes, we'll be back on a cruise ship. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, friend. Maria Robinson with a super chat. Thank you, Maria. Maria writes, cruises to nowhere plus private islands. Private islands are not a cruise to nowhere, but yes, there could be cruises that just go to private islands. Royal Caribbean has said, in fact, Royal Caribbean's CEO, Michael Bailey, has said that when cruises resume, they're going to really be leaning on those private islands, Perfect Day, Coco Cay, and Labadee, because they have a lot more flexibility in getting access to those places than other islands. So, Maria, I think, yeah, when cruises resume, a lot of cruises will simply be going to Perfect Day, Coco Cay, and or Labadee. You can't do a cruise to nowhere. A cruise to nowhere is a sailing in which you go on the ship in the United States, you sail off into the middle of the ocean, you just putz around the ocean and then come back. That's actually illegal against U.S. law. You can't do that anymore. You used to be able to do that, not anymore. But you can go on a cruise that just goes to, Perfect Day, because Perfect Day and Labadee are in, Perfect Day is in the Bahamas, Labadee's in Haiti, and that totally counts. And Cruise Addicts with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being there for us and help with our cruise addiction. Why, thank you, my friend, and thank you for your very kind generosity. Really appreciate that. Josh Taylor, thoughts on doing away with the Windjammer? I know you love to hit the Windjammer on embarkation day. I do love that. Yes, Josh, we've seen some contradictory statements because 1 week Royal Caribbean CEO Michael Bailey said that the Windjammer, the classic buffet, is pretty much gone. It's going to be redone into something else. And then last week we heard from Royal Caribbean Cruises Limited Chairman and CEO Richard Fain saying, well, nothing's written in stone yet. We don't know yet what's going to happen. So who knows? I think if the worst case scenario, Josh, I think the demise of the Windjammer will be temporary. I think it would be something that would be in place while coronavirus is near and dear to everybody's hearts. It's really present. And once, there's a vaccine and once, the cases really start to plummet, I think the buffet could return. I could see that happening. So, Chris Robinson, what are the best discounts for the drink packages for the Cruise Planner? On the Cruise Planner website, yes, that's the only place to get it. It's the only game in town to get it. Guys, I'm gonna go grab a cup of water because I'm parched. I don't want to end the broadcast. It's too early. I want to keep talking Royal Caribbean, but it's hard to talk, so I'm gonna get something to drink. So in the meantime, here's the question of the day for you guys. Question of the day. I want you to all type your answers in chat to this question while I just go grab a cup of water. My question for you guys is, what is your favorite what is your favorite island to visit on a Royal Caribbean cruise? Favorite port? Type your answers in chat. I want to know what's your favorite port to visit. I'll be right back, guys. 2 seconds. And I'm not getting tequila. It's actually going to be... All right, I have returned, and I am properly hydrated now, and I'm ready to answer more questions. All right, so we got some Labadee, Costa Maya, Miami, St. Thomas, Roatan, Coco Cay, Costa Maya. Patrick wrote, whatever island I'm in right now is the one that I like. I love that. Love that. All right, guys, back to your cruise questions here. Paul Silverhill, if I do Uber to Miami to port, can you walk me through the process to get on the ship? Yeah, it's pretty easy, Paul. When you do the Uber, you will pick up the Uber. You'll put in obviously Port Miami as your destination, and you just tell them whatever terminal you're going to, Terminal A, Terminal G, whichever one it is. But they will drop you off right at the place where the porters are, and you're good to go. There's not like you have to walk beyond that. Wendy Guerrero with a super chat. Thank you, Wendy, my hero. Thank you, Wendy. Really appreciate it. It's very, very kind of you to say. Jorge says, we missed you. Well, I'm glad to be back. William, my cruise this May was canceled, looking to rebook for July 2021, but slightly hesitant since the price at that time is $300 more a person for that time than what I originally paid for your cruise. You know what, William? Here's what I would tell you. You got two options, assuming you're really married to that date. One is you book it, lock in the price, and you know what? If the price goes down, you can always cancel and rebook, take advantage of that. The best price guarantee applies, and who knows what'll happen to that price. But also, likewise, William, if you get to, final payment date for that July 2021 cruise, which would be in April or so of next year, and the price is still sitting $300 more, you can always cancel. You know what I mean? There's very little risk involved, if you ask me. We've got Christine from Facebook. Your YouTube account has a different screen name. My favorite Caribbean port to visit was San Juan. Favorite European is Villefranche, Monaco. Nice. Welcome. And thank you, Christine. Good to see you here. Dennis Orman. Matt, have you been on Vision? How did you like it? I've not been on Vision of the Seas, but I have been on a Vision class ship, which was Rhapsody of the Seas. It was fine. I think I like the Radiance class better. My wife did not like it. She does not like small ships, but I thought it was fine. I didn't mind it at all, so. Nicholas, hi Matt, do you think cruises will go up when they start to cover back losses? You know what, I've seen explanations on both. I mean, a lot of Wall Street analysts believe that prices will go down because when cruises resume, there's going to be a lot of people who will be not very anxious or open to wanting to go on a cruise. But at the same time, we really haven't seen a major price drop. Like, we haven't seen prices plummet to that point. So, yeah, it kind of remains to be seen. I don't know what to... Let me ask the Magic 8 Ball, sorry. Magic 8 Ball, will prices go up when cruises resume to make up for the losses? Hello? Oh, yes! Magic 8 Ball with the definitive yes. Sorry, Nicholas. Jeff Leonard, I've canceled 4 cruises so far. I'm over these cancellations. I am ready to go. I'm with you, buddy. Trust me, it's crazy how long it's been. I mean, it's unfathomable how long it's been without cruises, and yeah. Ava, how many Royal Caribbean ships utilize the GTV engines? Thanks for the quiz on the blog. That was fun. Good. How did you do on the, Christine, what was your score? There's only the Radiance class have that. So, how many Radiance class ships are there? 4? Yeah. Brian wants to know, Brian Straub, we cruise Royal Caribbean Celebrity. How come they don't give points on Royal Caribbean for cruises we've done on Celebrity? They were both Royal Caribbean cruise lines, the same stock. They are the same company. You're absolutely right. The reason being they're different cruise lines. And for whatever reason, whether it's a technical reason or simply they just don't want to give out points for both, we don't know, quite frankly. It's just the way it is. And, yeah. I mean, number one, I don't think that many people would take advantage of it, but I think, honestly, the answer is probably there's either a technical reason, like the systems are too different for them to be able to merge, or quite simply, Royal Caribbean doesn't feel it necessary to be able to offer them both in that regard. Maybe it'll dilute either one. Who knows? It's honestly an arguable point, and I'm not sure we've ever heard an official answer as to why. Haley, am I able to use my cruise credit to pay for my drink package? If you're talking, Haley, if you're talking about your future cruise credit you get from a canceled cruise or what have you, no, you cannot. Let's see here. Jay Wanderman is in the house. What's up, Jay? COVID-19 is a real thing, but we will get past this. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, my friend. Josh Taylor, how does the chat work on the Royal Caribbean app while on board? Last June, Liberty of the Seas had that option available, but we were unable to get it to work. It doesn't work on Liberty yet, so I don't know what you're referring to, Josh. Right now, the option for chat through Royal Caribbean's app is only available through Harmony of the Seas and Allure of the Seas. It's still been a work in progress. It works fine. The only issue is notifications, getting that to work nicely. But obviously, we haven't been on board a ship in forever, so who knows what's going to happen there. I hope, though, they're going to get that working, and I hope they're going to get on every single ship. That is the plan, because I agree, it's something that we definitely need. Susan wants to know, do you think Royal Caribbean will waive room service charges in an effort to practice or promote social distancing? I don't know the answer to that one. On the one hand, you got a point. Hey, room service is the ultimate social distancing option on board a ship. On the other hand, look, I love Royal Caribbean, but they are all about making the monies. They're a for-profit company, and I'm not sure that I would see them change that. Even though it makes a lot of sense from a health standpoint, I think they might say, listen, if you value it that much, perhaps that's that's something you have to pay for. But honestly, I don't know. I really don't know what to. I could see it going both. I could see the argument. I certainly see the argument for both ways. And I could see Royal going both ways, but in the grand scheme of things, once something costs money, it generally doesn't come back, even if there is a good reason for it. Mrs. Thomas says, the newest cancellations have me nervous because we're going in mid-August. I'm trying to stay positive, but also keep my eyes open in case we need to change dates. Hashtag realist. And Mrs. Thomas, I'm starting to get over to your side of the fence. You know, in the early part of this, in March and April, and even May, early May, I was really confident that we would see cruises come back a lot sooner than we have. And with this latest batch, I'm starting to be like, for reals now? Like, can we, like, it's getting real now. You know what I mean? Like, it's starting to really, like, yeah, I hope I'm just reaching that point of pessimism, and then I'll be able to turn around tomorrow. I'm like, hey, good news, guys. Tony Diaz with the super chat. Thank you, Tony. Glad you got the water. You was looking a little flush from all the tequila shots. One of these days, I'm afraid to. One of these days, I will grab the tequila and we'll do shots here together. But I'm afraid you guys are. I think Tony Diaz will start like putting out, you know, little $5 like lining them up and be like, here you go, big boy. Put your money where your mouth is, because I'm the only one drinking them. William Jones, do you anticipate more WoW band ships so there's less touching of C-Pass cards? You know what's interesting, William? Before all this, the answer was a firm no. Royal really doesn't seem that interested in spreading the WoW bands across more ships. It seems to be a technology that didn't really work, or it didn't work the way they wanted it to work, or they just thought there were better options out there. But I do think, William, that instead of WoW bands, what you could use is NFC technology near... What does NFC mean? I forget. But basically, NFC is what works like Starbucks. You ever use Apple Pay or whatever Google has, where you take your phone and you put it near a pay reader and bam, it pays it? That technology is A, proven, B, everyone's got a phone anyway, not everybody has a WoW band, and C, will accomplish what you're kind of talking about over there. So, yeah, I could see that being the case. What's in that cup, Mark, is purely water, my friend. Purely water. Haley wants to know, do you know the perks of the Royal Caribbean credit card points, etc.? Yeah, essentially you earn, I think it's 1% back. You get points, which you can use towards Royal Caribbean onboard credit, even free cruises at some point. I'm not the world's biggest... I think there are more lucrative credit cards out there in terms of being able to just accrue points. But if your goal is to have onboard credit or free Royal Caribbean cruises, it is the single best and only option right there. NFC is near field communication. Thank you, Joe and Steve Cohen. Thank you, guys. I knew what it was. I just can't remember what the acronym meant. Maria Robinson with the super chat. Thank you, Maria. Richard Fain, phase return to service, not all ships. Yes, that is correct, Maria. So I think it is all but certain when Royal Caribbean resumes sailings, it will not be when they say, okay, let's assume for a minute, Maria, August 1st really is the date when cruises are going to resume. On August 1st, 26 ships are not starting up on August 1st. There's going to be just a handful, a couple of ships that start up, and as ships start up and go out there and things look okay, they'll add more and more ships out there. So yeah, there's not going to be every ship starting up again. Royal Caribbean has said they're going to do drive market ships first, basically ships in places where most people on that ship tend to drive there. Florida, basically. San Juan, Puerto Rico is not a drive market. Europe, not a drive market, right? You're talking about places where most people are local yokels. That's me. So, yeah, absolutely. Valentina, do you think my cruise on August 17th sails from Miami to the Caribbean? Also, my final payment is June 3rd. Do you think I should pay it or ask the reservation credits? I always tell you this, Valentina. I don't know if your cruise will sail. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, who knows the answer to that. It's a guess. Anything can happen. If I were you, I would pay it. I have a cruise in September. I made final payment on that one. I'm hoping, because I want to go on that cruise. I want to make it work, so I'm going to pay it. And Valentina, if the cruise gets canceled, you get your money back. So you have very little risk involved, Cruise Addicts, how can you upgrade your membership on the Royal Caribbean Blog Insider Program? Well, I'm glad you asked. You just go to you go to Patreon. You go to the Patreon website, Patreon. Log into your account, and you'll see your subscription to Royal Caribbean Blog, and you can change it over there. Gerard, can my 100 and thank you in advance, by the way. Gerard, can my 125% future cruise credit for our canceled cruise this July be used to pay for a cruise that's already booked for next July? Yes, absolutely, absolutely, yes. Jay, will Matt cruise more next year to make up for the lost cruises? Is this thing on? Yes, okay. Yes! Yes, absolutely! I will make up for lost time. You know it. You know it. Papa Mozo in the house. Tim Gallagher says, a Royal Caribbean Visa card pays double points when you spend on Royal Caribbean things. That's a good point. Absolutely. Todd Cohen, for WoW bands, do you have to purchase a new one for each cruise, or are they reusable? They're sort of reusable. What I mean by that is, officially, if you go to Royal Caribbean's website, it says they're not, but in practice, they are. It's one of those weird Royal Caribbean policies. In my experience, almost every single cruise, I've been able to reuse them. There's been one, Anthem of the Seas. For some reason, nobody on Anthem wants to reuse them, or they won't let you reuse them. But other ships, Harmony, Oasis, yeah, they don't care. We got Araceli in here. What's up, Araceli? Is it worth it? Is it worth the savings to select a guaranteed cabin versus picking your own? Depending on how much money you're saving. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, money saved is money earned, and that's money that you can spend on the drink package or another cruise for that matter. Absolutely, as long as you're not picky about your room location. Like Araceli, my parents would never do that. My parents want to pick their room. They want to know exactly where they are. They're very big sticklers on being center and all that stuff. I don't really care. I'll save a couple $100, get a guarantee, and it'll work out pretty well. So yeah, I would do it, but it's up to you. Jonesy in the house. Jonesy writes, I'm so ready to get my drink on. I know, of course, you can drink at home, but on a cruise ship, way more fun. Yes. Tony Diaz is going to make up for a lost time, and I can go back to hating him for cruising so often. I miss upsetting Tony because I'm going on a cruise again, not because I'm singing. But Tony, you never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips, and there's no tenderness when we touch at our fingertips. You're trying hard not to show it, baby, but baby, I know it. You've lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. You've lost that love and feeling, and it's gone. Whoa. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Tony, that goes out to Tony Diaz in the chat, who loves when I'm singing. Hunt is watching Top Gun right now. I swear I don't have a TV in here, so I have no idea. Is it really on TV? Dennis says, don't give up your day job. Man, that's like the best song I can sing right there. Jay Spiegel, what's up, Jay? What are Canada ports looking like for the fall? Oh, man, I don't know, dude. As you know, I've got a cruise there, the group cruise. I mean, right now, they haven't made an announcement yet beyond that July 1 date. But Canada has been, their policy has been to be a little more aggressive than other places. I mean, on the one hand, a lot of other ports, especially places in the Caribbean, are starting to open up or have plans to open up again. But we haven't really heard anything one thing or another. So, the Righteous Brothers, yes, absolutely. Mike Pastor, I'd rather listen to Manny Meow, please. Jess Gore in the house, welcome. What is your go-to karaoke song on Royal Caribbean? That was it. That's the only song I can kind of sing because it doesn't. There's like no high notes in there. I can kind of do that one without like cracking my voice. As you might imagine, I really can't hit any high notes or medium notes for that matter. So, Reed says, "Well done, ready to get signed." Jay Wanderman, Nick Weir just called. He says he wants to sign you for a new show. Few Hembury, is Royal Caribbean allowing reservations for shows and restaurants 90 days out? No. These days, reservations for shows tend to be a lot closer to your sale date. Like, I would say closer to 30 days, quite frankly. Not saying it couldn't happen, But in practicality, these days, it's much closer to sale date. Laura, my son loved the DreamWorks activities. I realize that the contract is done, but do you know if the Symphony has a children's breakfast without the characters? They have a breakfast. It's not a kid's breakfast, but they do have breakfast, obviously, in the dining room. That is the one thing they could not replace as a character buffet, but there is still breakfast in the main dining room. It's just not like a kid's meal, you know what I mean? It's not it's not a character meal, but yeah. Sure, Royal Caribbean is a singer. Chris Robertson, your group cruises for 2021. Yes, it's at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com/events. Chris, there are 2 of them on the docket. One is in July 2021, Anthem of the Seas to Norway. We're going to Europe in July 2021 on Anthem of the Seas. Can't wait for that one. And then Thanksgiving, Harmony of the Seas, November 2021. More details about dates, itineraries, all the stuff you need to know, and how you can book it over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com/events. Can't help but notice I started singing and 0 super chats. People are just turning this off. This guy is awful. Jess, with the guarantee cabin, can I select the refundable deposit option, or would I be stuck with non-refundable? That's a good question, Jess. I think you could do both. I'm not aware that there's a restriction on guarantee rooms and refundable or non-refundable, but I mean, you'll know when you try to book it, quite frankly. But I don't know. I cannot, for whatever reason, I don't see that as an as a restriction. But I don't know who. I can blame drinking, but I haven't drinking anything. All I has water, so I don't know. I don't think so, but you'll know it when you try to book it. Let's see here. Jonesy, Norway's gorgeous. I can't wait. Denise, where do I find your podcast? Is it daily? Oh God, it's not daily. The podcasts are on iTunes. They're on Google Play. It's the Royal Caribbean Blog podcast. It is weekly, so there is a new episode every Wednesday, unless you are a Royal Caribbean Blog insider at the $10 level or higher. Then you actually get the episodes a day early on Tuesdays, but it's once a week. So it's only water in the cup. Yeah, and Pascal's point, you can find, just if you go to iTunes, if you go to Google Play, if you go to Stitcher, if you go, I think even Spotify, just search for Royal Caribbean Blog, you will find the podcast over there. And if you can't find it, send me a message. Send me an email. I'll be happy to send you a link for that. So, Mrs. G, why is Royal Caribbean not allowing booking for shows 90 days ahead of time? Our cruise is August 1st. It kind of varies. They used to offer a little further out, and then I don't know what happened. Something happened, and they started reining that back in. I think number one, it's not critical to book your shows that far in advance. Most people don't. And number two, is that it's still available to book ahead of time. You just, again, 30 days or thereabouts as opposed to 90 days. So, it's one of those things where I would love to be, look, you guys know it. I'm a big planner, type A, plan everything out as much as I can ahead of time. That makes sense. But in a lot of other cases, it's just not necessary to book quite that far. I think that Royal kind of said, you know what, if we can rein this back a little bit, they have, so. Jay, am I going after that Joe Rogan money on Spotify for podcasts? You know it, baby. You know it. All right, guys, on that note, I got to head on out of here. Thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube. I got to say some thank yous to everybody in here. Thank you, Maria, for your super chat. Thank you, Tony Diaz, for your super chat. Wendy Guerrero, thank you for your super chat. Cruise Addicts, thank you. Maria Robinson, thank you. Lando Calribian, best name in YouTube, thank you for your super chat. Mrs. Thomas, thank you. William Jones, thank you. Sharon Stockman, thank you again for your generosity. Kyle Mikasel, thank you for your super chat, and I apologize for butchering your name again. Todd Cohn, thank you for your super chat. Jeff Leonard, thank you for your super chat. VP Jared, thank you for your super chat. Bill Coco, thank you for your super chat. Ava, thank you for your super chat. And Javon, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And if you're saying, wait a minute, Matt, I want more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, advice, not to worry, Tony Diaz. There is plenty more Royal Caribbean news, fun, information, and advice over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Heck, guys, there's already been 3 blog posts today over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Our message boards, podcasts, lots to keep you busy between now and our next live broadcast on Monday. Until then, guys, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy, do something fun, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.